It is Wednesday, the 16th of April, 2025 at Protestia Studios, and this is an intelligence briefing coming to you from Protestia.com, where, as always, find the latest in Christian polemics and discernment news. Sign up for the Insurgency email blast and support us financially over at Protestia.com. Follow the link, that is, to patreon.com/Protestia and become a Protestia Insider. Yearly subscriptions get you $5.95 a month ad-free browsing on the website, and a lot of exclusive content that you won't find on the website itself, or it'll be behind a paywall. These headlines are not among them as far as I know, but let's get into it. First headline at Protestia.com, Michael Brown Firefly investigation completed. The Line of Fire board releases a statement. The law firm conducting a third-party investigation into sexual misconduct allegations against Dr. Michael Brown has completed its investigation and handed the summary report to the Line of Fire board and elder team. That's Michael Brown's ministry, according to a brief statement posted on the website. Late last year, Brown was accused by Sarah Aaron Monk of sexually inappropriate conduct that would frequently cross physical boundaries, including holding her hand, kissing her on the lips, and slapping her butt. Further, it was alleged that he'd had a sexual affair with another unnamed woman. In the response to the first claim, Brown admitted some of the aspects and denied others, writing, quote, "My interaction with her, although totally non-sexual in every way, reflected a definite lack of judgment on my part. It was certainly foolish and irresponsible, but neither sexual nor amorous in any way." To the latter, he insisted that he never committed adultery and he never crossed the line sexually. Brown said that the unnamed woman who passed away in 2021 and her husband were close friends of his, and he developed an inappropriate, quote, "emotional but not physical tie to her during these months, but that it was ultimately confessed to both spouses in 2002. We have spoken to a source close to the matter, and they say Brown and his team are confident that Firefly's investigation will not yield any substantive surprises and that their findings will line up with what Brown has already admitted to, even with Firefly's elevated definition of abuse. You can read more about this over at Protestia.com. Next headline, secretary arrested for embezzling $570,000 from SBC Church. A woman has been arrested and charged with embezzling more than $500,000 from her Baptist church, according to the Nassau County Sheriff's Office. Melissa Gainey English, 44, was the financial secretary of Amelia Baptist Church, a 400-member Southern Baptist church in Fernandina Beach, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Florida. Investigators say that while she spent 11 years on staff, she started pocketing money in 2019 to spend on personal expenses, allegedly stealing more than $570,000 in tithes and offerings over the next 5 years, thieving at a rate of about $100,000 a year. Some of the things she purchased included SeaWorld tickets, concert tickets, baseball tickets, a helicopter flight over the Grand Canyon, and lavish hotel stays and cruises. Two new church finance committee members noticed discrepancies after reviewing bank documents and records, finding that funds were lower than they should have been. After reviewing credit card statements from a church credit card issued directly to her, they discovered hundreds of thousands of dollars had been used for her personal expenses. Read more at Protestia.com. Next headline at Protestia, prominent prophetess defends Todd White's leg lengthening miracle. New Apostolic Reformation royalty Patricia King has come to the defense of Todd White as he deals with the fallout of being accused of theft, lies, and domestic abuse by several of his current and past ministry partners, insisting that Todd White has performed the miracles he's been accused of faking, in particular his leg lengthening miracle. King, who we last covered in our post, famous charismatic prophetess Tokes the Holy Ghost, says that footage showing White manipulating and healing the foot that was shown in the film American Gospel Christ Alone was a lie because it did not show the interaction afterward, claiming to have been present at the healing, and that she owns the footage and its copyright. She insists the person really did have his leg lengthened and that the footage was unfairly manipulated by leaving out the reaction afterward. Those of us that have seen the American Gospel expose on this would find this comical, as the expose very clearly identifies exactly how the fake miracle known as leg lengthening, I guess. I mean, it's an old parlor trick, street parlor trick, was done. The video manipulation if we want to call it that, speeds up the video to demonstrate exactly what Todd is doing to supposedly bring about this miracle. You can read more over at Protestia.com. Brandon Kimber, the director of American Gospel, had corrected an initial version of this article where we had tied Patricia King's statements to Mike Winger's video on Todd White. But in reality, he told us that the video in question, the one that Paula White was I'm sorry, I said Paula White, I meant Patricia King. The video that Patricia King had claimed was pulled out of context and made to look like something other than it was actually the video that was featured in American Gospel instead. But you can read more about this over at Protestia.com. Moving on, next headline: woman who punched pro-life activist, we covered this a few days ago, in the face, gets GoFundMe taken down and loses her job. That's good. That's a good thing. The woman who launched a GoFundMe to help her with her legal defense after she punched a pro-life journalist in the face has had her campaign taken down, according to an update from her Facebook page, where she also accused the victim of organizing a mass campaign against her, as if that was going to be necessary to demonstrate that what she did was awful. 2 weeks ago, Savannah Craven, an anti-abortion activist who works with Students for Life and Live Action, was interviewing passersby when one woman who didn't appreciate her questions, now identified as Brianna Rivers, punched her in the face and sent her to the hospital. This video is, of course, embedded on our several articles on the issue. But now Rivers, who claims she was, quote, rage baited, whatever that means, into the attack, denied responsibility, quickly launched a GoFundMe to help pay for her lawyers, raising almost $8,700 towards her $25,000 goal. However, GoFundMe suspended the campaign before it could finish, as it violated the terms of service of using the money to hire legal defense for violent crimes. Rivers will not be able to keep the funds she has raised so far. Instead, they will be refunded to givers. She has since pivoted to Give, Send, Go, where the campaign apparently has raised about $600. So there's a Facebook update from her that we have screenshotted on in the article here if you want to read more. Next headline at Protestia.com: why Christians shouldn't observe the seder. This is an insider article over at Protestia from J.D. Hall, explaining why the Passover seder tradition of Judaism does not actually come from Old Covenant Judaism, but rather comes from Talmudic Rabbinic Judaism, which is a different religion. If you're an insider supporter, log in to Protestia.com to read this article. I believe that J.D. Hall probably also has it over at his Substack, Insight to Insight. You can read it there as well. Next headline at Protestia.com: 51 Christians murdered in Plateau State, Nigeria. This is a curated post from Christian Daily International and Morningstar News. Following the killing of more than 60 Christians in Plateau State, Nigeria earlier this month, the death toll of a dawn attack today, this was a couple days ago on the 14th of April, on a predominantly Christian community in the state has risen to 51. Fulani herdsmen attacked Ziki village in Kwal district, Basa County early Monday morning, said area resident Blessing Yukabu, saying over 40 Christians have been killed in a fresh attack which occurred in Ziki village of Kwal district. They said to a message to Christian Daily International and Morningstar News, with a death toll later updated to 51. Prayers go out to these Christians who are facing persecution in Nigeria. There is a link at the bottom of our article here to get to the rest of the information. Actually, there is a link at the bottom to get over to the original article, but we have republished it in full with permission, so you can read the whole thing at Protestia.com to get more information. Next headline at Protestia: John MacArthur announces return, saying, "I feel great, ready to come roaring back into the public," a month after sharing a video message with Shepherd's Conference attendees expressing his great sadness and disappointment at not being able to attend the event, reflecting that he was on his quote last lap. Pastor John MacArthur of Grace Community Church has revealed that he's back in the recording studio this week and that he feels great. MacArthur, 85, has been away from the pulpit for the better part of a year, battling a series of health issues, setbacks, and complications stemming from multiple heart surgeries he had in the back half of 2024. Grace to You Director Phil Johnson shared on X that MacArthur was back to recording messages that would begin airing in early June, and that while his voice is noticeably weak, his thoughts are as cogent as ever. That's a good thing, of course. We praise God for that. A similar message was posted to John MacArthur's X account, where he revealed that he feels fine. He says he's not ill at all. His heart is working well. His lungs are working well. There's nothing terminal he's experiencing, no heart failure. In fact, his heart is probably stronger now than it's been in the last decade of his life. He says he's under good care from the doctors. The issue for him is when they were trying to regulate everything, because he had lung surgery and heart procedures. They had him in the hospital. He'd been there for 7 weeks. He says, so all I can say at this point is I feel great, ready to come roaring back into the public and pick up my ministry again. We have an embed of this video from the John MacArthur X account you can see over at Protestia.com. Last headline for this intelligence briefing: SBC theologian defends Hindu demon god statue erected in Texas. This is a full op-ed from J.D. Hall at Protestia describing, it is Malcolm Yarnell, who is a Southern Baptist theologian, research professor at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. He recently took to X, that's formerly Twitter, to make a statement that had left many faithful Christians reeling in disbelief. In response to the erection of a 90-foot bronze statue of a Hindu demon god in Texas, Yarnell declared, quote, one of the worst changes this generation of Southern Baptists could make is to undermine the lordship of Jesus Christ even further by diminishing our commitment to religious liberty. Yes, the religious liberty conversation is renewed anew. It is something that we will be discussing tomorrow night on the Insider Roundtable, which if you are an insider supporter of Protestia, you can join us for the discussion tomorrow night. That's Thursday, 6:15 Mountain Time, 7:15 Standard, 8:15 Eastern Time, or 5:15 if you are on the West Coast. If you're on Pacific Time, that link will be dropped into Patreon for insider supporters to join us for the Insider Roundtable, where we will be discussing and unpacking and debating the limits and the tenets and the framework of religious liberty as it applies to this issue specifically. But in the meantime, you can read the op-ed over at Protestia.com to see what J.D. Hall says about it. And you can also read, I have an article, I guess it was a year or two ago, an article entitled Christian Nationalism is Getting It Wrong on Jurisdiction, that I think also offers some helpful context for situations like this. That's going to do it for this edition of the Intelligence Briefing for April 16th, 2025. Stay tuned to Protestia.com for all of your latest in Christian polemics and discernment news. We'll see you again real soon. As always, Semper Reformanda.